So today I am going to derive some equations, and I want you to take down some notes also. Please get up your notebook and a pen. Sometimes I might read out some sections, important sections. So because last week we started the discussion on calculation of national accounts mathematically, national income mathematically, mathematical approach to national income accounting. How to calculate when you know the consumption function, investment function, and the government function, then how to get the output, what is the value of the output, national income, GDP. That we did for a I think this one, no, this one, yes, right. You did for a you can hear me and you can see me, no? Yeah. Right, okay. Then we did you can see my presentation. Yeah, I believe, yes. Okay, correct. Okay. Then we discussed first the three models to explain the economy, describe the economic changes, the disturbances. Economists use three models, three textbook models. First, the national income model. Last week we started discussion, national income, the GDP. Using that GDP, the consumption function, investment function, government expenditure, exports and imports functions are known. You can calculate easily the what would be the national income or the gross domestic product. Second model is bit advanced model, that is ISLM model. In macroeconomics, we call it as ISLM model, model 2. There are two curves. Then movement of these ISLM curves, or the equilibrium point of intersection, and the movements of the ISLM curves also can be used to explain the direction of shifts, changes of national income and the interest rates. Today we are going to start the discussion. Third model is again the aggregate demand, aggregate supply. So you know the demand curve and the supply curve for a particular the product. Demand for rice, supply of rice. Demand for paddy, supply of paddy. Or the demand for banking services, supply of banking services. That is the micro, one particular market. Considering one particular market, we draw this demand and supply curve. After that, we can calculate equilibrium, price, and the quantity. Then if certain shocks coming to this market, we can accordingly, you can shift either demand or the supply curve, discuss and draw conclusion about the new situation. That is the micro level. Now this aggregate demand and supply, the name itself implies the aggregate. These two curves for the entire economy, overall economy. Aggregate demand curve considers the goods and services produced in the economy as a whole. Aggregate supply also considered the supply of goods and services produced in the economy as a whole. Aggregate demand for goods and services produced in the economy as a whole. Two axes, income or the GDP and the price level. These are the changes. Now, next week probably I might start the aggregate demand and supply very briefly. Now, today our focus is first to finish this. I think I can't remember last week whether we discuss all the models with regard to the national income expenditure. This model we discussed, I can remember. Yes, we discussed multiplier. Up to what point I discussed then the closed economic government we discussed. Yeah, I think TY I can remember, proportional taxes. Then disposable income, we discussed this concept of disposable income. Then open economy also we discussed. Yeah, then you can go through this the formulas and start the understanding these things. Yeah, almost all the concepts we discussed. Okay, if you have any questions, please do ask me. We can discuss these questions. Yeah. Now let's start the model 2. Model 2, that is this one. Today's lesson. Deriving ISLM curves algebraically and interpreting them. Now here I have given the all these the basic introduction that we had in the last lecture. The role of a model, what is a model, then 3 basic models. Model 1, expenditure system, ISLM model. Yeah, the ISLM model is generally let's read out what this ISLM model, what is it? This model develops schedules for equilibrium in the goods market and money markets. The goods market, aggregate goods market, goods and services market, is summarizes by this curve, IES curve. Then the aggregate money market, the equilibrium is summarizes by the LM curve. Like in microeconomics, you have the downward sloping demand curve, upward goes the supply curve. Here we have the downward sloping IS curve, upward sloping LM curve, generally. Yes. An IS schedule is derived from the above model 1. We use the model 1 actual national income model, but differs in that investment spending is related to the interest rate. Now, earlier model, remember we discussed investment is 50. Investment is exogenous, fixed, constant. The consumption function depends on either income or disposable income. We assume I and G constant. Now in the IS model, we assume that is not the case. Investment in the economy depends on interest rate of the economy. How do we explain that? Why is that? Yeah, explain. Now the interest rate is having lots of the definitions, loaded with definitions. As I said last week, it is interest rate is the opportunity cost of money. If you keep 1,000 rupee with you without depositing in the bank, at the end of the year you will lose the interest of let's say the 15 rupees, 1,000 rupees, 15 rupees annually. So therefore we call interest rate is the opportunity cost of money keeping 1,000 rupee with you. That is one definition of the interest rate. Another definition is the cost of funds. Interest rate is the cost of funds. If you are an investor, you go to the bank and ask for an overdraft or loan. Then the first question you ask, okay, the manager, what is the going interest rate lending rate? So he might say it is 12%, 15%, 20%. So that reflects the cost of funds. Then what will happen? Higher the interest rate, higher the lending rate, higher the overall interest rate. If you are an investor, you are discouraged. You tend to think negatively. Oh, cost of funds will be very high. So I don't want to invest this. I don't want to get this loan at this interest rate. I might postpone this investment for another 2 years, 3 years time. So that's the thing. Or if you are already in the business and an investor, you might cut down your investment. Okay, I don't have money. So the bank, I don't want to borrow the money at a very high cost. So therefore, we'll rationalize our expenditure, right? That is the another approach. Investment and interest rates negatively related. When interest rate increases, investment goes down. Investors are discouraged; they cut down their investment. Or investment falls, interest rate falls. Nowadays, in Sri Lankan case, what is happening in the interest rate, overall interest rate, both deposit and the lending rate coming down, drastically coming down. Deposit rate is around FD rate around 5 to 6%. Last year, 2 years ago, last year, maybe it was 11%, 8%. Before that, 11%. Now it is coming down. Savings rates coming down. FD rates coming down. So the lending rate accordingly, lending rate also coming down. 8%, 9%. Why is that? But that's a good thing for the investors. Investors are happy. Investors can get money at a low cost. That is one thing. But savers are sad. Savers, their return is very low. So they are sad. Investors are happy. But the government's objective is to give more relief to the investors while giving some relief to the savers also, because in Sri Lanka there are lots of the fixed income earners, pensioners are there. So pensioners live in on the interest rates earned by depositing this money with the bank. So then when interest coming down, their monthly earnings coming down, living standard falls, cost of living is rising, living standard, so your interest rate income is falling, you are in trouble. That is one aspect of falling interest rate, negative aspect. For the savers are sad, but investors are happy. But the government at this stage, government's objective may be to give some relief to the investors, because now economic growth rate is falling. It's a negative growth rate, and the first quarter growth rate was negative 1.6%. To put some pressure, the shocks, the positive shocks to the economy increase, you have to increase investors, encourage investors. That is the objective of the not only in Sri Lankan government, almost all the countries, regional countries, they're trying to encourage investors by giving more and more incentives, non-monetary incentives, or the incentives through the interest rate reduction. So therefore now the discussion, investment depends on negatively related to the interest rate. Now the first equation you are familiar, y equals c plus I. This we are considering closed economy without government, simplest economy. Now the idea is to derive the IS curve and LM curve for the simple economy. After that we extend closed economy with government, closed economy with proportional taxes, open economy. Now today I am going to restrict my discussion only to this closed economy without government. Investment function. Remember last week we discussed investment was constant, 50, 60. Now the investment function, there's a negative relationship between I and R. I naught is constant, I1 is constant, R. The minus sign indicates there is a negative relationship between interest rate and investment. Interest rate increases, investment goes down. Now we discuss why it is so, cost of funds. So I want you to take down this relationship. Explanation is important. Why there is a negative relationship between investment and interest rate. Number two, demand for money. That is the IS curve basically. The demand for money is inversely related to the interest rate and positively related to the current income or expenditure level, right? Now, briefly, I will come to this point detail when you discuss the ISLM curve, but generally we can understand. So the now interest rate and demand for money negatively related, minus HR. K and H constant, don't worry. This minus sign is important. Why is that? Demand for money and interest rate negatively related. Now you can understand why is that. When interest rate increases, money, cash holdings decreases. Why is that? There is opportunity cost increasing. You don't want to keep 1,000 rupees with you. So you demand for money. Here money means demand for money. Layman's language, we can see the demand for money, cash, notes and coin. You don't want to keep notes and coin with you because banks interest rate is rising. You just go and deposit that in the bank. So there's a negative relate, demand for money and the interest rate negatively related. One aspect. Then we have KY. K is constant, Y and demand for money positive. When people's income, when countries' income increases, what will happen? Demand for money. We'll come to this point again. Demand for money. There are various components: transaction demand, speculative demand, the precautionary demand. So we need the money for various purposes. So then when our income, we are getting richer and richer, we are getting more and more money. All these components, demand for money increases, income increases, demand for money increases. Positive relationship between income and demand for money. Negative relationship between demand for money and the interest rate. I ask you to explain. Now, briefly, you can explain. Demand for money is inversely related to the interest rate and positively related to the current income and expenditure. You can explain now. Again, we'll come to this point again, detail. The money supply. So the money market, to discuss the equilibrium in the money market, discuss the LM curve, we need both sides, demand curve and the supply curve. Supply of money, demand for money and supply of money. Supply of money is a baby of the monetary authority of that country, central bank of that country. They are the monopoly. Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Bank Negara, Reserve Bank of India, Federal Reserve Bank of USA, Bank of England. They are responsible for changing stock of money in the economy, money supply in the economy, caused by changing the cost of the money. So that is implementing the monetary policy. In other words, central banks are supposed to implement the monetary policy to maintain the money stock. So that is nothing to do with the interest rate. They discuss. The money supply is exogenous, independent, outside the system. Central bank, if the central bank thinks, okay, by next week, we want to increase our money supply by another 500 billion rupees. They can do that. They don't print the money, but using the policy rates, repo, reverse repo, the bank rate, reserve rate, they can influence the money stock in the economy. I believe you have a discussion with this central banking, the functions of central bank, and how does the central bank maintain the money stock, change the money stock in some separate lecture. But I also need some input from that lecture. But here, money supply, ISLM. This is IS curve and the LM curve. Now, this is the final output textbook model. ISLM, the IS curve is downward sloping, LM curve is upward sloping. IS curve represents the money market, goods market equilibrium. LM curve represents the money market equilibrium. IS represents the goods market equilibrium. Along this, the IS curve, goods market is in equilibrium. Along the LM curve, money market is in equilibrium. Therefore, at the point of intersection, both goods market and the money market are in equilibrium. Agree? Therefore, we call the economy is in general equilibrium. Economy is in general equilibrium. Money market is in equilibrium, goods market is in equilibrium. Then at that point, at Y0 and R0, this is the equilibrium interest rate and equilibrium income, equilibrium GDP and interest rate. This is a textbook model, right? There are some deviations. Now we'll start the real stuff. The brief introduction I gave you. IS, what is IS curve, what is LM curve, what is equilibrium. Now we discuss, go behind this, the story. That is using the basic models. We discussed closed economy without government, closed economy with government, closed economy with lump sum taxes, closed economy with government with the proportional taxes. Final model is the open economy. Now today we are going to discuss closed economy, the model. Let us now discuss derivation of IS and LM curve separately in detail. Downward sloping LM curve, upward sloping LM curve. Sorry, IS curve, upward sloping LM curve. First, we will derive them for closed economy without government. Two-sector model, business and household. Simplest model. First. Secondly, we will derive the equilibrium income and interest rate for that economy. Point of intersection. If you know the IS curve equation, If you know the LM curve equation, you can easily calculate equilibrium interest rate and income. Thirdly, we will discuss the shifters of IS and LM curves. Like in microeconomics, remember, when number of suppliers increases, supply curve shifts down. When number of suppliers, suppliers decreases, supply curve. For example, if government the ban on imports, supply of that good decreases. If government one day, maybe 6 months, 3 months time or the 6 months time, government might remove this, relax this import regulation restriction, then supply might decrease, supply curve comes down. Similarly, IS-LM curves also there are shifters. IS can go down or go up. LM can go down or go up. IS can shift down or shifts up. Fiscal policy. LM can shift down or shifts up. Monetary policy. Right. Finally, we will extend the model for other types of economy, 3 and 4 sectors. That means the closed economy with government, 2 models, then the open economy, 1 model. Remember, last the national income model, we discussed 4 models: closed economy without government, closed economy with government with lump sum taxes, closed economy with government with proportional taxes, then open economy. Okay, right. Now we'll come to the model. This is our model. Closed economy without government, right? Now we are going to derive this two-sector model. Why it is called two-sector? Households and the business sector. Household and the firms. No government. Two-sector model. What are the activities? Consumption, savings, investment. Then GDP, output, supply. Y, demand. Supply and demand. At equilibrium, GDP equals Y. GDP equals C plus I. Now that is the equation we are going to use to derive the IS curve. IS curve. The IS curve represents the combinations of income and interest rate such that the goods market is in equilibrium. Goods market, overall goods market in equilibrium. Right? Now, for example, you can see IS curve, goods market. Axis, income and interest rate. Income and interest. Microeconomics, quantity demanded and price. Here we have aggregate GDP and interest rate. For the deriving the IS curve mathematically, we use the equation Y equals C plus I. Now the other 2 models, remember, Y equals C plus I plus G you have to use. Open economy model, Y equals C plus I plus G plus X minus M. This model is very simple, just to understand the basic the calculations. Y equals C plus I, starting point to derive the IS curve. Right? Then the consumption function, remember last time, in the last lesson we discussed consumption depends on income. 40 plus 0.8 Y. 0.8 is called marginal propensity to consume, MPC. 40 is autonomous consumption. MPC is 0.8. Now the new plan, investment. Earlier model we assume investment is constant. I equals 100, I equals 50, I equals 60. Now this time interest rate, we assume interest rate, this negative relationship between interest rate and investment. So we define investment function. I equals 100 minus 6R. Investment function. Earlier it was fixed. Now what will happen? We substitute this 2 equations. C equal 40 plus 0.8 Y, 40 plus 0.8 Y plus I 100 plus 6R. Right? Then what do? You take this 0.8 to right hand side of the equation. Then you can write Y minus 0.8 Y. Y minus 0.8 Y is 0.2 Y. Then you have the other side, 40 plus 100 is 140 minus 6R. What is this? This is relationship between interest rate and income. Interest rate and income. This is the IS curve. IS curve. Interest rate and income. Equation of the IS curve. Equation of IS curve. 0.2y equals 140 minus 6r. If you divide both sides by 0.2, you can divide. Then this is equal y equals mx plus c type. Y equal 0.2 y divided by 0.2 is y. 140 divided by 0.2, 700. 6r divided by 0.2 is 30r. Then this is the relationship between interest rate and income, so that goods market is in equilibrium. Interest and income, so that goods market is in equilibrium. I'll draw this. This is IS curve. Interest rate combination of interest rate 10%, income 100. Interest rate 8%, income 200. Interest rate 5%, income 500. Like that, you can draw the IS curve. That is, mathematical formula is there. We have derived using y equals c plus I equation. We have derived the equation for the IS curve. Because after this lesson, I want you to understand all these calculations. Please do that. Because normally, if people are the present, I go to the board and I ask you to derive this equation. But today, there's no chance. So I want you to. Everything is there. I have given everything. Please, step by step, understand. Then, IS curve we finished. There's another way to derive the IS curve. Two methods. Using y equals c plus I, you can derive the IS curve. Second method is, now along the IS curve, let's do some calculation. IS curve, let's say interest rate is 10%. Interest rate 10%. R equals 10%. If you substitute R10 here, 700 minus 30 into 10. 30 into 10 is 300. 700 minus 300, 400. Income 400. 8%. Interest rate 8%. Then what do you do? 8. 8 into 30, 240. 700 minus 240. 700 minus 240, 460. Higher income. Then 6%. Interest rate is coming down. GDP increases. 6%. 30 into 6 is 180. 700 minus 180. 700 minus 180 is 520. Interest rates coming down. Income increases. Negative relationship between interest rate and income. This is the IS schedule. IS schedule. Interest rates coming down. GDP increases. GDP increases. Interest rate increases. Interest rate falls. GDP increases. Negative relationship between interest rate and income. IS schedule. Right? Then the interest rate thing is, you can see this is the IS curve. Negative relationship between interest rate and income. We calculated using our equation. We calculated this negative relationship. Now what will happen? That's negative relationship between income and interest rate. Other two columns, what will happen? Other two columns, what will happen? The investment and savings. Investment we can calculate when interest rate 10%. Interest rate 10. What is investment? 100 minus 6 into 10 is 60. 100 minus 60 is 40. 40. Investment 40. Then interest rate 8%. Can you calculate investment? Investment you can calculate 6%. 6 into 6, 36. 100 minus 36. 100 minus 36. The 52, 8%. Sorry, interest rate 8%. 8%. 6 into 8, 48. 100 minus 48 is 52. Investment 52. Then the interest rate 6%. Interest rate 6%. 6 into 6 is 36. 100 minus 36. 100 minus 36, 64. Investment 64. Interest rate 4%. You substitute 4% to the investment function. Investment function 4. 4 6 into 4, 24. 100 minus 24 is 76. Investment column, understand. Income, to calculate income, we take the IS curve. To calculate investment at each interest rate, we take the investment function. Now what will happen? The savings. How do you calculate savings? What is savings function? The second model, how do you do the savings function? Savings is y minus c. What is savings in this model? Residual, we call residual. What does that mean? Leftover is saved. You get the income to consume first. Balance is saved. So therefore, SC equals income minus consumption. Y minus C is the savings. Agree? Y minus C. Savings. Now we are going to do the savings function. Then what is the C? C we know originally 40 plus 0.8y. C 40 plus 0.8y. Then substitute. Y minus 40. This minus 40 is there. Y minus 0.8y. Y minus 0.8y. Y minus 0.8y is 0.2y. This is the savings function. Savings function. We have the IS curve, investment function, savings function. Savings function, how to derive? Y minus C. Income minus consumption. So this is a savings function. Now think about. Now we said when interest rate is 10%, what is the value of savings? We go to the savings function. 10%. 0.2 into 10. 0.2 into 10. Yes. 0.2 into 10 is 0.2 into. No, sorry, income. I'm sorry, this is income. No? Income. Savings function by income. 400. To get the savings. 400, you substitute income. 0.2 into 400. 0.2 into 400. 0.2 into 400 minus 40. 0.2 into 400 is how much? 80. 80 minus 40. 0.2 into 400. First case, 0.2 into 400. I'll multiply 0.2 into 400. 800. 0.24, 800. 800 minus 40 equals minus 40 is 760. No, sorry. Interest rate 0.2 into, sorry, I did some mistake. 0.2 income is 400. No, 400. You substitute 400 into the savings function. 0.2, sorry, 0.2 into 400. I did this wrong calculation. 80. This is 80. 80 minus 40 is 40. Savings is the 40. Then 460. Substitute 460 to the savings function. Substituting y, you can calculate savings. If you calculate savings, 52. Now you can see very interesting relationship. Investment equals savings. Investment equals savings. IS curve. That is the meaning. Investment equals savings curve. Investment equals savings curve. Right? Now let's go back to this calculation. First we derive the IS curve using this equation. Y equals C plus I. What are the equations? Consumption function and investment function. By substituting these functions, we get IS curve, 700 minus 30i. Then, when you calculate at each interest rate, you can calculate Y. Then you can calculate investment at interest rate. Interest rate, you go to the investment function and calculate investment. To calculate savings, you need a savings function. Savings function I have derived. This savings function. Then you substitute at each level the income 400, 460, 420, 480. You can calculate savings. Then you can see investment and savings matches. Same. IS curve. Along the IS curve, IS schedule, when you move along the IS schedule, you can say investment equals savings. Investment equals savings. That's why it is called IS curve. You can take down investment savings curve. Investment savings curve along the IS curve. It is downward sloping. Investment savings curve. Right. Now second method to derive the IS curve. We know along the IS curve, investment equals savings. I equals S. We derive the S curve. Minus 40 plus 0.2y. Investment 100 minus 6R. Earlier model, remember 100 minus 6R. 100 minus 6R. This investment function, savings function, this. Investment equals savings. I equals S. 100 minus 6R investment equals savings minus 40 plus 0.2Y. If you simplify this, you get in terms of Y as a subject, 700 minus 30R. What is 700 minus 30R? This one. If you use the Y equals C plus I, you get IS curve. Or you can get the same function, same formula if you use this relationship, I equals S. 700 minus 30R. 700 minus 30R. Remember, either you can calculate, derive the IS curve using Y equals C plus I or using I equals S. Same equation can be derived. It is the combination of income and the interest rate, GDP and interest rate, so that goods market is in equilibrium, aggregate demand equal supply, or investment equal savings. That is the IS curve. Don't worry about that other equation. You take R as a subject, 30R to the left hand side, Y to the right hand side, then dividing that, it is R and Y. Mathematically, this is the correct form, but this is also at the exams you get full marks as R subject or Y subject. Remember, if you are very conversant about mathematics, this is nothing. You can easily understand. Set of equation, either Y equals C plus I or I equals S. Using that, you can derive the IS curve. If you are not that much of conversant of mathematics, I want you to understand. Simple equation. Go through each line by line and understand. Well, we discussed two methods to derive the IS curve. Using Y equals C plus I, we derive the relationship between income and interest rate. Or using I equals S, we derive the relationship between income and interest rate. Same equation. Right? This is the IS curve. Along this IS curve, you can take down, along the IS curve, goods market is in equilibrium. Along the IS curve, goods market is in equilibrium. Or you can say, it is the relationship between combination of interest rate and income, Y and R. So that goods market is in equilibrium. Investment equals savings. At every point, each point, investment equals saving, investment equals saving, investment equals saving along the IS curve. Or you can say GDP equals Y, GDP equals Y, GDP equals Y. Aggregate demand, aggregate supply. That is the IS curve, negatively related. So, model 2, IS curve, I want you to derive this IS curve. Can you work out the IS curve for this one using a simple first model, Y equals C plus I? There are 3 questions. Use Y equals C plus I and derive the IS curve. I will give 5 minutes to derive the first question. Write down Y equals C plus I, substitute C, substitute I, simplify, take Y to the left hand side, R to the other side. Right? No, sorry, there's a small mistake. Cut this 10R, 150 minus 10R. Please change that. Now this first one here. Now this first equation, this please change that. Cut this Y and change that to R. C equals 10 plus 0.75 Y. I equals 150 minus 10R. Second question, C equals 10 plus 0.75 Y. I equal 150 minus 5R. R. Interest rate. C equals 40 plus 0.8 Y. I equals 70 minus 2R. Again, there's a mistake. I get minus 2R. This should be minus. Please bear with me. This is a typos. Please change that. I 70 minus 2R. I don't think how do you do that? If you don't have a copy with you, then this has a problem. This should be R. This should be minus. Take down this the 3 equation, 3 question. These 2 points to be changed. Then once you take the hard copy, you can check this, change this. This should be R, this should be minus, right? Okay, taking this is R, work out what is equation of IS curve. First question. Or let's say second question, 10 plus 0.75 y 150 minus 5r. Equation of the IS curve. How do you start? Right, y equals c plus I. Write this consumption function, 10 plus 0.75 I. Write the investment function, 150 minus 5r. Simplify. Then take y to the left hand side, others the right hand side. Do that. I'll give 5 minutes. I minus 150 minus 5r. Okay. Right. Okay. Now these are the two equations, right? C equals 10 plus 0.75 y. I equals 150 minus 5r. What is the basic equation? Y equals C plus I. Why is that? Closed economy without government. You have only two sectors. This is Y. This is I. C. C plus I. GDP. Y equals C plus I. Consumption and savings. Households and the firm. Two sectors. Now this is the equation. We substitute 10 plus 0.75, 10 plus 0.75 y plus I 150 minus 5r y. Now what do? We take 0.75 to the left hand side. Y minus 0.75 y equals 10. 10 plus 150 is 160. 160 minus 5r. Right? Y minus 0.75 y is 0.25 y equals 160 minus 5r. IS curve. This is the IS curve. Negative relationship between R and Y. So mathematically speaking, you can take R subject, no problem. But this is also correct, right? So you take 5R to this side, 5R to this side, and this is to other side, 160 minus 0.25y. You can divide both sides by 5. R equals 5. Minus R equals, yes, 5 divided by 5R. That is also negative relationship, R and Y. Y equals mx plus c. Mathematically, this is the one. But examination, you get the full marks. No problem. Y equals c plus I. Substitute. Then get the equation. In the examination, this is not necessary. If you stop this point, you get full marks. No problem. If you are mathematically, if you are good at maths, you can come to this point. No problem. But it should be negative relationship. Okay? Right. Take down that. Similarly, you can do the other two questions, homework exercise. But please do change that y to r in the first sum, third sum minus sign. Please do change that. Then only because there are some typos, right? At the moment, I can't change because they are in PDF form. I can't change. I have the USB. I mean, I have pen the drive, but I can't do that. No. Okay, please. Sorry about it. Right. Now we will go to the I come. So please work out these two. Now, first one is okay, IS curve we derived. Question number 1 and 3, I want to derive that, right? Okay. Now the next one. LM curve. Model 2 LM curve. Model 2 IS curve we derived. What is LM curve? The LM curve represents the combinations twice. Of course, you have to cut one combinations of income and interest rate such that the money market is in equilibrium. Earlier, goods market is in equilibrium. IS curve. Goods market is in equilibrium. Here, money market is in equilibrium. Money market is in equilibrium. You are to take an economy, you have two financial assets, money and bonds. When you say bonds, all are included, FDs, debentures, everything is included here, normal savings, the debentures. Bonds earn interest rate, either FD or the debenture or the savings account, or any financial instruments. We assume when you classify bonds earning interest rate. When you say money, we assume money does not earn any interest rate. Now here we are going to discuss the money market. Non-interest earning money, demand for money, right? Now first we'll discuss the money, functions of money in the economy, demand for money in the economy, not the bonds, demand for money. Why do people demand money, right? What is money? What are the functions of money? What are the components of money demand? Then demand functions, who supply money? So in an economy, I said two assets, money and bonds. Bonds, what is the difference? Bonds earn interest rates, bonds earn interest, but the money does not earn any interest. Money and bond. Right? Now here we discuss, first we'll discuss this money, nature of money. What is money? Money is, of course, what is money? You might think notes and coins. These days, money is notes and coins. Money, right? Is that money only, right? Now the money is basic definition. Money is anything. In the primitive societies, we use the metal pieces as money, right? Then after that, now for example, interesting example, prisoners of war camps. People use the cigarettes during the Second World War period. Because in European countries, not like here, most of the prisoners are getting the quota of cigarettes and quota of some the alcoholic drinks or sometimes beer, right? So to exchange, you have the other things, of course, soap and everything. Those the necessities are there. No? To get one soap, they might give one cigarettes and one soap. To get another item, let's say a piece of some other item, you give 2 cigarettes and sometimes bread, two extra pieces of bread, you give 2 cigarettes and get 2 breads, slices of bread. Like that, cigarettes was used as money in the prisoners of war camps. To buy goods and services. Primitive societies, kahavanu. Now in Sri Lankan case, you had the kahavanu, small metal pieces, right? So in Sri Lanka, the archaeologists have found lots of metal pieces that had been used as money. So they suspect, they think these are evidence for those days. Foreign traders were here in Sri Lanka, Chinese traders, Indian traders, where some of these the pieces were used in China those times, right, or India in those times, right? So therefore, the foreign, it was an open economy. So imports were open. So those days, long time ago, the money, some metal pieces were used as money, right? So then comes this the paper money, like here. Now, before that, the fiat money. In the case of fiat money, that's some by surrendering this the piece of money, piece of paper, this money, it's a gold standards are there. You can get equivalent amount of gold. Now it is not the case. Nowadays we don't have that value. Only some piece of money, some notes and coins, currencies. You can't exchange that for. You can exchange 100 rupee for 100 rupees note, under the 10 rupee coin for 10 rupee coin. You can't get gold, right? So the I think those things have been discussed in your commercial banking lecture. So therefore this is today's money. So the money is anything that is accepted as money, accepted to exchange goods and services. Exchange goods and services, prisoners war camps, right? Therefore, these are the cigarettes was the money. Long time ago, metals, fiat money, then fiat money. Nowadays, you have this no value, only just the piece of paper. Now, at the central bank, there's a huge 2 rooms. They're very huge, right? Piles of money. The money, the cartoon, it was there, money, right? 1 room, just only money, notes and coins, 1,000 rupee, 50 rupee, 20 rupee notes, different the notes, huge room. No value actually. The currency is there, they are not in circulation, right? Not issued. Next one is the issued money. Issued money, to be issued money, they are counted and transferred that to their to be issued money. When the banks ask for money, the central bank issue the notes and coins from that room. This is untouched. Accounts are there, but this is untouched. But once you want to circulate the money, this transform the transport to the other room, and through that you issue that to the circle. These are untouched money. Touched money, untouched money. Right? Again, the banks come and hand over their obsolete notes. That's another room for that one. Accept those things. Not valid, right? The damaged note, and then that's another room for that one. That is if you have a chance to visit as a group also to the central bank currency department, that's a very good chance. So then you can understand this mechanism, discuss with the officers at the bank. I think I might suggest that to the Director General, because Director General was one time, or the Mr. Karunatilaka was the superintendent of currency. He can easily arrange these things. Has lots of contacts in the central bank. Because I was working in some other department, but the Mr. Karunatilaka, Director General of the IBSL at the moment, is a good friend of mine. He worked as a superintendent of currency, right? After that, we both were promoted as assistant governors, right? Okay. Then the money, briefly, I am not going to discuss this in detail. So what is money? Forms of money, different forms of money we discuss. Then the functions of money. Functions of money. Money. What are the functions of key functions of money? Money can be used to buy the medium of transactions, medium of exchange, to buy goods and services. Store of wealth. You can store your wealth using money account. Then what is other functions? Other functions. Medium of deferred payment. Deferred payment. For example, I am teaching. I am giving this online lecture to all you all. Then I am not paid just after this lesson. They have the accounts. Okay. So and so, Mr. Vasanta delivered this lecture from 10:30 to 12:15. Okay, they are recorded. At the end of the month, they calculate, applying the rate, they calculate the money, they settle that. Up to that point, they owed IBSL, they owe me. Actually, that is called the medium of the deferred payment, right? So that is the one. Then the medium of exchange, the store of wealth also. Store of wealth. You can store your wealth in terms of monetary terms, right? The unit of account, the kilogram of rice, 1 kilogram of rice, 1 kilogram of fish. In the monetary terms, you can mention that 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 300 rupees, 560 rupees, 1000 rupees, monetary terms, unit of account can be used. So in the national income calculation, unit of account. So you have the in national account, some are in kilograms, some are in pieces, some are in meters production. Then you transform as into rupee terms. You get the unit price and get the monetary value. Unit of account. The store of wealth. The wealth, money can be used as the store of wealth. But the thing is, can be used with you. He said money is anything that is accepted by the society. If you are accepted to use this the face mask as money, okay, we all agree. 2 kilograms of rice, maybe 1 or 2 face masks, right? 3 kilograms of 3 kilograms of 3 loaves of bread, 2 loaves of bread, maybe 2 masks. Then the 1 chocolate, small chocolate, maybe 1 mask. Like that, you can unit of account, money. Then the store of wealth, can we use ice cubes, small ice cubes as money? If you agree, okay, let's use ice cubes. Replace these notes and coins with ice cubes. Small cubes are there, no? So then, as money in your refrigerator, you have small cubes. Can we use these ice cubes as the money? Even though I agree, right? You just saw these notes and coins. We don't want. Now we are going to have a new mode of transaction, new measure, new instruments. The ice cubes can be used. No. Why is that? Which exact function is violated? You cannot store your wealth. If you have the ice cube, the moment you take this out from the fridge, it starts melting. So if you have the 10 cubes as your wealth, when you take this, your wealth weight is not there, no more there. It is melting. Your wealth is depreciating. At the end, it will be 0. So money, small cubes cannot be used as the money, because that will not comply with one of the functions, store of wealth. If you want to use as the ice cubes as small cubes as the money, so everybody has to give as a backpack and some the small the mini refrigerator. Then you keep your money there and you move. Everybody is moving with this the mini refrigerator. Then only you can preserve your money, right? So that is some items cannot be used as money. Now, metallic money, gone. Then the other money gone. Now, we don't know. Sometimes in prison, today's now just to discuss the government is they now have found lots of this the narcotic drugs are there in the heroin in the prison. Sometimes they might be have mechanism to use these drugs as money. Exchange things. 1 milligram, 2 milligram. That's very interesting. On the telly, the milligrams, grams, kilograms, milligrams, grams. The police have found 4 grams, 4.5 grams. So the 10 grams, right, and 1 kilogram. So this like it's a this heroin and dosing. That is the problem. In small quantities has big value, and at the same time you can hide those things easily, right? So there are so many places that you can hide those things, can be detected now. But our technology, the police forces now, they are more advanced method to detect those things. But quantity, very small quantities, right? Value lots of things, right? You can be a millionaire and have a very small pack of those things, right? That is the problem in these things. So the functions of money we discuss. Then the components of demand for money. Why do people demand money? Money, not the bonds. We are talking about money. Demand for money, right? The non-interest earnings, not interest earnings. Demand money. Why do we need money? transaction demand. Main thing is a transaction demand. To buy your food, to buy your lunch, to buy things, to buy a shirt, a trouser, then to buy a ticket, you need money, right? Transaction demand. Transaction demand is one of the component. Then the precautionary demand. Precautionary demand means to meet some future uncertainties, future contingencies, uncertain things. Now we don't know next moment what will happen, right? That's a great uncertainty to finance those. If I fall ill, so I have to get treatments. I have to see a doctor, see the consultant, something hospitalized. So they to make the payments, you need money. So people demand money. Precautionary demand to settle the unforeseen things, unforeseen contingencies. We need money. Transaction demand, precautionary demand. Speculative demand. Speculative demand means investment, financial investment to buy some shares, buy some treasury bills, buy some bonds. We need money. Speculative demand. These are the three components of demand for money. What are the component demand? Transaction, precautionary, speculative demand, right? These are the three. What determines demand for money? Demand for money, right? As I said, demand for money depends on interest rate. Why is that? There is no the opportunity interest rate is the opportunity cost of money. Therefore, demand for money depends negatively related to the interest rate. At the same time, demand for money, either it is transaction or the precautionary or speculative, on average, demand for money depends on your income. Richer the country, richer the households, you need more money. Your demand is higher. Positively related to the income. Remember, at the beginning, I said demand for money function is KY minus HR. Demand for money equals KY minus HR, right? Demand for money. KY minus HR, demand for money function. Negative related to the interest rate, opportunity cost of money, and positive related to the income. Richer the country, richer the income, you are getting more money. Your demand is higher. Demand is money. Demand, MD, transaction, speculative, or precaution. Now we come to the money supply. What and how? Who determines the supply of money? Supply of money. Supply of money to control, the manage stock of money in the economy. The only institution that can do is the central bank. Central bank can determine the supply of money in the economy. They can change by changing the policy rates coming under their purview. They can change by changing the cost of the money, interest rate, the repo, reverse repo, bank rate, reserve ratio. They can influence the stock of money in the country. Central bank. So it is up to the central bank. Monetary Policy Committee is there in the central bank. I think once in every 2 weeks they had the meeting, a very high level meeting. Governor or the deputy governor is chairing this meeting. All the big, all the senior directors, all the directors of the important department, ER, IOD, Foreign Exchange Department, the Bank Supervision Department, almost all the directors, not all, the key department directors are coming. Then they discuss. It's a confidential meeting, highly confidential meeting. Then they take decisions. Some decisions. After that, they announce. Okay, next year, next week, or the next month, we are going to increase repo rate, decrease repo rate, change reserve ratio, change the bank rate. So that definitely money. Now, for example, you can say the just after COVID, the central bank reduce the policy rates. So when the policy reserve ratio, bank rate, when they reduce, what will happen? The commercial banks are getting the benefit. Commercial banks are getting the benefit. They can lend more money. If the central bank reduce the reserve ratio, they need not to keep that much of money out of their deposit liabilities. So they have excess money in the bank, excess liquidity in the bank. Then they can lend those money to the investors. By that, lending those the money to the investors, investment increases, GDP increases. See the link between these two? Investment increases, GDP increases. Why is that? Central bank is the key. Central bank, so for example, central bank, if they cut the reserve ratio, bank are not supposed to keep more money. To the proportional to that amount, more and more liquidity, money will left with the bank. Then banks can help investors. Bank can lend this money to investors. When they get money and invest, the country's GDP Y equals C plus I, so GDP increases. So who is responsible? Central bank. Central bank can contribute to the GDP, increase in GDP. Central bank is in a position to contribute to the raising the GDP of the country by using the policy rates, right? By changing the policy rates. Monetary policy instruments. Monetary policy instruments, they are called monetary policy instruments. They can affect the GDP. So the supply of money, how means it is central bank. As I said, monetary policy committee is there by changing the rates, interest rates coming under central bank purview. Central bank can ask commercial banks to change the fixed deposit rate, 1 year rate, or the 2 year rate, or the 5 year rate. Central bank can't do that. The independence is sovereignty is there, independence. But central bank can change the interest rates coming under their purview. That is the standard deposit rate, standard lending rate, then the bank rate, the reserve ratio. By changing that, they can influence the GDP of the country. Right. Now, why do we discuss this demand function? Because in the money market, you have the demand for money and the supply of money. That's why we had this brief discussion on the money demand and money supply. Right? Because to derive the LM curve, we need both sides. We have to consider both sides. Demand for money function. Not worry about this demand for now. I have put MD over P. Money supply, MS over P. MD earlier discussion I had on demand for money notation was MD. Now MS. Now when you divide by MD over P, real, you want to make the real balances, not nominal. Demand for real money, real balances. Then divide that by price, it becomes real money supply. MS divided by P, real money supply, real money demand, right? MD 0.2Y minus 5R. Now we can understand demand for money. There's a negative relationship between interest rate and demand for money. Why? There's a positive relationship between demand for money and the income. Demand for money, transaction demand, speculative demand, precautionary demand. When income increases, demand for money increases. When interest rate increases, opportunity cost increases, demand for money decreases. Right. Supply of money. Supply of money is central bank baby, monetary authority. AMTS so 200. Very easy. So now to derive the LM curve, that's very easy. Compared to IS curve, LM curve, deriving LS curve is very easy. LM curve is very easy. Demand for money equals supply of money. At equilibrium, money market, demand for money equals supply of money. If you have the excess supply of money, then there's a problem. Excess demand exceeds the supply, excess supply of money. That is bad. Excess demand for money, that is also bad. At equilibrium, exactly demand for money equals supply of money. Demand for money equals 0.2Y minus 5R equals 200 supply of money. 0.2Y equals 5R plus 200. You take 5R to the right hand side. Then the equation y equals 0.2y equals 5R plus 200. That is LM curve. Y equal, if you divide both sides by 0.2, y equals 25R. 0.2y divided by 0.2 is y. 5R divided by 0.2, 25R. 200 divided by 0.2 is 1000. That is LM curve. Or you can make R as the subject. You bring R, keep R one side, bring all the other variables to other side. Then you have the R as a function. Again, yes, 0.04y minus 40. Both are correct. Both are correct in the examination. If you can derive this, most of the time you can derive the first equation. That's you get the full marks, no problem. LM curve, Y and R. There's a positive relationship between income and interest rate. This is the combination of income and interest rate, so that money market is in equilibrium. Demand for money equals supply of money. Money market is in equilibrium. Demand for money equal at every point. Money market on the demand curve, money market is in equilibrium. Interest rate 5% and income 100, money market is in equilibrium. Interest rate 7% and income 200, money market is in equilibrium. Let's say interest rate 10% and income the 500, money market is in equilibrium. Demand for money equals supply. Every point. IS curve, goods market is in equilibrium. Right. Model 2. Now the LM curve. Now let's see, are there any typos? No. Demand for money 0.2y minus 10r, MSOP 200. Number 2, demand for money 0.2y minus 2r, the supply of money 150. Third question, yes. Now it is okay. First, can you derive the LM curve using this question number 1? Demand for money equals supply of money. Please work out, derive the relationship between demand for money. At the end, you have to get derive equation like this. It's very easy. Can you work out? I give you 5 minutes. Again, I have a problem here. Wait a minute. Take this the question. First question, MDO. Okay. This is the demand for money, real demand. We discuss what is money, functions of money, demand for money, then the demand function. We discuss supply of money, who is responsible for supplying money, and how does the central bank supply money, control the money in the economy. Now you have 2 functions. LM curve is demand equals supply. 0.2y minus 10r equals 200. Then 0.2y equals, take 10r to the other side, 10r plus 200. Demand equals supply. Y equals, then you divide both sides by 0.2. 10 divided by 0.2r plus 200 divided by 0.2. Y equals, when you divide 10 by 0.2, the 50 r plus 1000. Right? 1000. That is LM curve. Positive relationship between R and Y. Is LM curve. Take down that. LM curve is that. LM curve, right? Then if you want, you can make it R as a subject. That means 50R equals the Y minus 1000. You divide both sides by 50. Y divided by 50 is 0. 1 over 50. 1 over 50 Y minus 1000 divided by 50. Then R equals, therefore, this is the 20. This is 0. The 1 over 1500 0 2. Or R as, or this, both are correct. Either Y as a subject or R as a subject, no problem. LM curve, positive relationship. Mathematically, of course, you all are familiar. Y equals mx plus c. This is one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Or you can take down that. Just take down that. Like that, please work out these other two sums. Question number 2 and 3. Derive the LM curve. LM curve. Derive the LM curve. Right. To this. Right. That is the LM curve. Now we have derived the IS curve and the LM curve for our simple economy. Closed economy without government. Closed economy without government, right? Okay. Closed economy without government, we have that. Now, equilibrium income and interest rate. We derive IS curve separately, LM curve separately, upward sloping LM curve, downward sloping IS curve. Point of interest. Along the IS curve, goods market is in equilibrium. Along the LM curve, money market is in equilibrium. Point of intersection, you can say both goods market and the money market are in equilibrium. Financial sector and the real sector both are in equilibrium. General equilibrium in the economy. Both financial, monetary and the goods, real sector are in equilibrium at the point of intersection. So you can easily calculate. You have two equations. IS curve, equation of Y and R. LM curve, equation of Y and R. Solve. Get numbers Y and R, equilibrium income and equilibrium interest rate. That's all. Right. I think I have used this example. Y equals 1250 minus 30R. IS curve, you know, already derived. Y equals LM. This is, so L is missing. LM curve. It should be L. Yeah. LM curve, Y equals 750 plus 20R. At equilibrium, IS equals LM. 1250 minus 30R equals 750 minus 20R. Then R equals 50R equals 500. R equals 10. If we substitute R into one of these equations, you get 950 Y naught. So you can say 950 and 10. 950 and 10. Equilibrium interest rate in GDP 950, interest rate 10%. Very nice model, very interesting model. It summarizes everything, all the goods and the monetary sector. So the equilibrium GDP and equilibrium interest rate can be calculated. Equilibrium income and interest rate, right? That is that one. Right? Equilibrium interest rate. So I want you to calculate this. Now I have given both combination. Two questions, 1 and 2. First question, C and I there, demand for money and supply there. First you have to calculate IS and LM curves for this one, equilibrium income and interest rate. Second question, C and I there, demand and supply money functions are there, calculate equilibrium Y and R. Understand? Two diagrams. First diagram, you have to draw the IS and LM curve briefly. Second diagram, IS and LM curves, calculate equilibrium income and interest rate, right? Right, okay. Equilibrium income and interest rate, please, these are the homework questions. Using the first question, You have to write IS curve and LM curve and equilibrium interest rate and income. Second question, IS curve, LM curve, equilibrium income and interest rate. Right? Okay. Then shifters of IS and LM curves. Like in microeconomics, remember microeconomics, we have the demand for fish, supply of fish curve. Then what will happen? If number of fishermen increases, supply curve shift down. Fish supply increases, fish price decreases. For example, if the consumers, if more and more people want to eat more fish, then demand increases. Demand increases, price of fish increases, price of increases, quantity demanded increases. Like that, macroeconomics, again you can use IS curve downward sloping, LM curve upward sloping, then shifters. IS curve can go up or down. LM can go up or down. When IS, LM, when LM curve go up or down, economy's interest rate and income changes. Like microeconomics, quantity demand and the price changes. Here also GDP and interest rate changes. IS curve shifts up or down due to the changes in fiscal policy. Fiscal policy variables. Government fiscal policy variables. Government expenditure, change in government expenditure, change in taxes. Changing government can increase their expenditure, government can decrease their expenditure. Government can increase taxes, government can decrease taxes. All these four situations, IS moves. If government increase their expenditure, IS shifts. Government cut expenditure, IS shifts. In the case of tax, if government cut taxes, IS shifts. Increase taxes, IS shift down. Fiscal policy variable, they are called the conscious policy implemented by the government or the general treasury to influence the government, the revenue and expenditure and the financing through that to the GDP. Taxes, tax policy and the expenditure policy. Right. For example, now recently, last week, the unemployed graduates, I can't remember, around 20,000 or how many graduates were appointed by the government. These are government, not the private sector, government. That's it, right? Now they are assigning these graduates to each the divisional secretariats, and they are undergoing a training, right? Training the activities around these DS within the DS division, right? So when government employ these graduates, government has to pay their salary. Salary is the expenditure. Expenditure coming from government, the current account, current expenditure. Salary stands, salary bill increases. Salary increases. Government overall expenditure increases. Fiscal policy variable increases. IS curve shifts up. Understand? That is the relationship between employment policy of the government and the IS curve. IS shifts. When IS shifts, initial equilibrium and income, interest rate and income, IS shifts. GDP increases, interest rate increases. Both. When IS shifts, GDP and both interest rate shifts, increases. Right? GDP increases. When you pay these people, demand increases. They start buying more and more goods and services. These people, new unemployed people. Then demand for these goods and services increases. Simple argument. Then as a result, the supply of these goods and services increases. GDP increases. That's why government employment policy, relationship between government employment policy and the IS curve. IS curve shifts, GDP increases, interest rate increases. Then relationship between the government employment policy and the GDP. GDP definitely increases. Why is that? Demand increases. As a result, supply increases, GDP increases. What is the fiscal policy? Explain. What is the fiscal policy variables? Government expenditure and taxes. What is the monetary policy? Now the fiscal policies are implemented. Any country, fiscal policies are implemented and monitored by the treasury, by the government. But the monetary policy is the central bank baby. Monetary authority is responsible for implementing monetary policy, designing, announcing, and implementing the monetary policy. Money stock, interest rate changes in stock, interest rates, right? These are their policy. What is the monetary policy? The conscious policy implemented by the central bank, the monetary authority of the country, so that to influence the stock of money and the price of money, that is interest rate. Stock of money and the interest rate, that is the monetary policy. Monetary policy variables, then these are the monetary policy variables. We know that interest rates, through the interest rate changes, repo, reverse repo, or the standing, the lending facility, savings facility, new names. Then you have or the bank rate, interest rate, the reserve ratio, they can change. These are the variables. Policy variable. I think from that, I think we have finished the lecture, today's lecture. This is part 1, first model. We discussed only we had this model for this model, simple model. With that diagram. Yeah. Closed economy without government. Now we have other models. Next week we are going to discuss this is the part 1. Part 2 we are going to discuss the other model. Same thing, ISLM model for the other the 3 sector models and the 4 sector model, open economy, right? Open economy model, right? That is the one. Shifters. Now we have the basic understanding about IS and LM curve. Next week I can easily extend that to the other models, no problem. The IS curve, y equals C plus I plus, the other model y equals C plus I plus G. Next model y equals C plus I plus G plus X minus M. You can derive the IS curve. LM curve, only 2 equations, same equation, demand for money and the supply of money. Demand for money and the supply of money. So LM curve, deriving LM curve for other models, same and very simple. But the IS curve, you have the extended version of this aggregate demand function, the GDP, national expenditure function, right? So we are going to, next week, we are going to discuss closed economy with government, then the open economy model, we are going to discuss that, okay? Yeah, closed economy with government, we'll discuss that later. Yes. Now we'll stop now. The thank you for listening to, coming to the class and listening to me. So next week, please, ISLM model is very important. Every paper, one question is from ISLM model. Usually, traditionally they give first part, derive the ISLM curves, calculate equilibrium income and expenditure. Then sometimes they give some policy shifts. Government increase the expenditure, discuss the new changes, what will happen to the GDP, what will happen to the interest rate. They ask this question, right? So the ISLM model is a very important model. At the same time, it's a new section. Earlier syllabus, I think we introduced this to the syllabus 2000, I can't remember, 16 or 15 or 16. Now before that, you didn't have this ISLM, this section, completely new. People start learning this in the university first year, second year, first semester. You discuss usually in economic courses ISLM model, but this is very interesting. If you are good at maths, it is more interesting. If you are not good at maths, it's not easy to understand. It's not difficult to understand. Simple equation, right? So it doesn't matter. Please concentrate on this. What is a fiscal policy? What is a monetary policy? How to derive the IS curve? How to derive the LM curve? Right? We'll see you all next week. Then till then, goodbye.